you will probably not be that surprised to hear that one of the focal points, one of the hotbeds of MK Ultra, where test subjects were or tests were run on people, was at Atsugi Marine Naval Air Facility in Japan. And guess who happened to also be at that exact same naval base in 1957?
With all that cheeriness behind us, let's get into the real deep, dark shit.
Well, right. the real deep, dark shit is gonna be kind of quick and dirty because you're not gonna be remotely surprised at all.
Kind of like his assassination was.
Yeah, very quick, very dirty. And in the last week of December, let's see, this article at The Intercept was published, and again, it'll be in the show notes page. Was published on December 19th, 2022. And it's an article over at The Intercept that is titled Lee Harvey Oswald, the CIA, and LSD, New Clues in Newly Declassified Documents. And then the subtitle is, An Unredacted Memo Adds Depth to Our Understanding of the CIA's Response to Allegations that Oswald Worked with the Spy Agency. Now, since we're going to post a link to this article and you can, read it in full there. It's like a 5-minute read. We're not going to go into all of the details of what these declassified documents uncovered, but the overview, the 50,000-foot view of this thing is, as you know, it is a well-known conspiracy theory, one of a few, that the CIA played a role in the assassination of JFK. Some suggest because of the botched Bay of Pigs debacle that he had no more faith in the CIA. He ultimately fired, at that time, Chief Dulles. And he just wasn't drinking the CIA's Kool-Aid anymore. And the CIA wasn't too happy about that, so they had him killed. Another part of that, or an alternative conspiracy, is that he was starting to sour on the Vietnam War, or just, the growth of the military-industrial complex, which his predecessor, Ike Eisenhower, had warned about. He was souring on that whole operation, didn't want to do it. As we know, the CIA was heavily conducting the Vietnam War, and they wanted to keep the money flowing and the bombs dropping, so they weren't going to take kind of that, and maybe that's why they had him killed. In either case, the CIA has always, since the Warren Commission that investigated the JFK assassination all the way forward, has denied any involvement whatsoever, of course, and they have denied any sort of contacts with the alleged shooter, Lee Harvey Oswald. Well, there's some interesting timing about Lee Harvey Oswald and his movements in the late 50s up until the assassination that these documents shed a little bit further light on, that maybe the CIA's denial of having any involvement whatsoever is probably not true. I know everybody is stunned and shocked that the CIA lied about this. But that's basically what is in the documents. Again, you can read the article for yourself for some more details. But shocker, the CIA lied. Oh, and their own documents are starting to prove it.
Well, again, it's like, not to track back to a shitty part of our episode, but the COVID crisis, it's like, it doesn't pass the smell test. Like, there were 3 different shots, shot from 3 different angles, from one book depository. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, allegedly. According to the Warren Commission, which I think is still... I don't believe anybody has said that it's been debunked.
Magic bullet.
Is there was only a few shots from one location, the depository.
Magic bullet.
According to the Warren Commission.
But when you start looking... Again, I haven't deep dived it. I don't care to deep dive it because I don't have to be convinced that my government might be capable of some really horrendous shit. Hence our family history. If you don't know what our family history is, go all the way back to 0, find out. Anywho.
Episode 0. That's what he's talking about. Not year 0. We're not time travelers.
Yet.
Or are we? How do we always have tomorrow's news today?
Stop.
Anyway.
Stop. They might catch on. Anywho. It seemed like it wasn't, and the problem was, I guess the weirdest thing for me is that if you're going to assassinate somebody, wouldn't you do it in the cloak of darkness, like in their bed, not on live television and being broadcast to the entire nation? That always to me stood out. Like, put
Or
the magic bullet.
Maybe their plan was hiding in plain sight.
Put
they wanted to do
all
it in
of
the
that
open.
in sight. Put all of that aside. Like, you put the president in a convertible in Texas, drove him super slow, and sniped his ass on live TV. That's a statement. That's not, oh, we were just trying to, it's just some wacky madman took a shot. In my mind, in my opinion. So if I'm starting there, you don't have to convince me where it came from or that it wasn't, on board to begin with. It was just some wacky lone gunman. Like, and then was it Gerald Ford that got the attempted assassination and by another 3? And why is it? Sidebar, not to take it on down the dirt, which really weird.
He's going to say not, and then he's immediately.
Of course, it's like but. Everything that happened before the but doesn't matter. But like, why does every assassinator have 3 fucking first names?
I know
Lee Harvey Oswald.
You've
like
made this connection before.
Like what? Anyway, all I'm saying is
I don't know if Wilkes or Booth are first names. But you brought up John Wilkes Booth.
Well, who's the guy?
You said not 3 first names in the past. You just said 3 names, period.
3 names, period. But like the guy that tried to assassinate Ford had another 3-name conglomeratory that was just ridiculous.
You mean Reagan? The one who tried to assassinate Reagan?
Maybe.
The one who was in love with Jodie Foster? What was that guy's name?
Yes, fuck.
Hinckley.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
I don't remember his 3 names.
William?
I don't know if he
had anyway. Doesn't matter. All I'm saying is that it's a quinky dink.
Anyway.
Anywho, like, all I'm saying is that from the start, the Warren Commission wouldn't have been formed if there definitely wasn't some weird shit going on. And that was formed immediately. So now everything's been redacted, blacklisted, black-opt, this, that, and the other. And now they, like you said that they're releasing classified documents, but most of it was already available, right?
Well, so yes. So a lot of time when they do these document dumps of quote unquote declassified information, a lot of it is stuff that's already out in the public. And so they can say, look at this whole stack of papers we just declassified. We're being open and transparent. And they never are. Because whatever they do release in that big stack that actually is new and might be additional information is heavily redacted. And further, other things that should have been in that new release are coincidentally withheld. So, every time they try to say, look how, hey, everybody come and see how good I look about, us, taking the shadowy shades off of the CIA and we're being open with the American people, it's always bullshit. But again, they have long held, and I believe up to this day, still say we had nothing to do with Lee Harvey Oswald. Well, one little piece of information in these documents was that, as we've talked about on this podcast and is pretty widely known, a lot of people know the conspiracy theory, which turned out to be conspiracy fact of MK Ultra, which was the CIA's secret program at the time trying to find mind control or trying to figure out how to do mind control within the context of war, is, they would dose people with acid and try to experiment on them and stuff like that. Well, you will probably not be that surprised to hear that one of the focal points, one of the hotbeds of MK Ultra, where test subjects were or tests were run on people, was at Atsugi Marine Naval Air Facility in Japan. And guess who happened to also be at that exact same naval base in 1957? None other than Lee Harvey Oswald. Now, that's not a direct connection saying that in this document it said that Lee Harvey Oswald was a test subject of MK Ultra. But again, this is another overlap between the two, which again, the CIA claims no connection of. Now, just to use another example, a known test subject of MK Ultra that it kind of went awry later. Maybe some people don't know this, but Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, he was a math prodigy, enrolled at Harvard. I forget how old he was at the time. I think he was like below normal college age. I think he went to Harvard at like 16. But anyway, genius in terms of math. And he was a participant. I don't remember if he was, because they kind of mince the words, like some people that were in MK Ultra did not have informed consent. Some knew what they were signing up for, yada, yada, yada. So that always gives them plausible deniability to say, oh no, Ted Kaczynski losing his mind ain't on us. He had informed consent. He chose to participate. I forget which category they put him in. We know what he thought about it from his writings. But Kaczynski, a math prodigy that they tried to perform studies on with MK Ultra, did perform studies on, probably sent him off the rails and led him down the path that he ultimately went. Is it that much of a shock to suggest that maybe dosing up Marines who are highly trained individuals with firearms with acid and trying to do brain control experiment or mind control experiments on them might end up going awry? Now, that's even to just give the CIA the Pontius Pilate treatment and wash their hands of the whole thing and say, we didn't have an active role in getting JFK killed. It's just that one of our subjects went a little batshit crazy. Whoopsie daisies. In either case, they've denied it all for all of these years. And as documents trickle out, we find out that more and more of what they have to say is bullshit. Not unlike the ATF in the previous segment.
And again, this isn't their only operation that's being leaked out. This isn't their only, what would it be? It's called a black flag, when you kind of attack your own country and try to make it look like something else.
False flag.
False flag. That's a false flag operation. Yeah. So if you don't believe me, they wanted to get us into, was it North Shore?
Yeah, Operation Northwoods, which we have covered on this podcast.
Right.
They wanted to commit acts of terror on American soil in order to get us to approve an invasion of Cuba. Which was approved all the way by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, went all the way up to the desk of Kennedy. And the thing that stopped it from actually being carried out was Kennedy saying, no, we ain't doing it.
He didn't say that. He said, are you out of your fucking minds? What are you talking about?
So back to the conspiracy theory of what was their motive to kill him if they wanted to kill him.
And again,
suggests he wasn't on their side at least 100%.
And again, does that not sound eerily familiar? And you said that there was an attack on American soil. No, it was American airspace. They were going to blow up an airliner. They were going to make it look like things. Cuba blew it up with their Cuba Missile Crisis.
Yeah. They were going to kill. They were going to kill Cubans on American soil in Miami, Florida. They were going to commit acts of terror on military bases and civilian centers. I don't know if it was like shopping malls or whatever, but they were going to attack both military and civilian targets.
Interesting.
They were going to directly target, like I said, Cubans that had fled to the United States. I don't know specifically about the whole airliner angle, but yeah, they were going to commit acts of terror on American soil in pursuance of a war.
The weird thing is, doesn't that sound eerily familiar with one of our darkest days in American history? I posit to you.
He wonders quietly to himself.
I posit to you.
Spleen Tower 7!
It's the fucking frogs gay! I'm a little bit retarded. Anyway. You can't even. Well, we're on Rumble now, so you can say whatever you want.
Say whatever we want.
Yeah.
Rumble and Odyssey. Don't leave out Odyssey.
I'm sorry, forgot about Odyssey.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Iliad too.
Yeah. So listen, all I know, dear citizen, is that you are not even supposed to consider any of these questions, even when
to ask the question is to be un-American.
Even when the CIA's own documents come out, again, heavily redacted, and a lot of other documents that should have come with them are withheld, but whatever. Even when their own documents come out and you're like, well, that's weird. I mean, you said you had nothing to do with the guy, but he's at like one of the main places that you're conducting these experiments. I mean,
or the guy
we
that
have
dies.
questions.
The guy that dies was your biggest adversary, not letting you do the things that you wanted to do the most. And then all of a sudden, he conveniently gets killed by a madman in Texas.
May or may not have been shacked up at a place that you were doing experiment. Whatever. All coincidence, probably. Has nothing has to do with the other.
Sleep tight.
And again, this is why the CIA came up with the term conspiracy theory in the first place. The reason why they came up with that term and interjected it into the broader zeitgeist, the American lexicon, is to create that little nudge in the average person's mind that if we just throw this label out you, and again, isn't that strikingly similar to how the political left operates today, right? They can just throw a label out at you. You're a racist. You're a bigot.
You're a Trump supporter.
Insert. You're an anti-vaxxer, right? They just throw the label out there, and then nothing else that anybody has to say who's operating under that label that they summarily and unilaterally gave to you. Nothing else needs to be listened to. Conspiracy theory operates the exact same way. Forget that we could give you an entire laundry list of conspiracy theories that turned out to be conspiracy fact. Those were all just happy accidents, I guess. You throw enough darts at the dartboard, you're going to get some right. That's what they'd say about us. But, I suggest even more than listening to us, listen to your own two eyeballs and your common sense. Do you think that these people in their long history have shown you credibility, have shown you temperate action where, they don't rush to judgment and they're not very vindictive and they're responsible and they're just, faithful public servants? Has their history demonstrated that to you?
And these are the things that we know.
Only you can answer that question for yourself.
These are the things that we know they did. Think about all the shit that they're doing that we have no fucking idea about.
Yet.
That's the scary thing. I think the quote of the day was, listen to your eyeballs.
Yes. Yes.
I enjoyed that thoroughly. That should be a fucking t-shirt. Anyway, with all that
he who shall not be named t-shirt.
Yeah, t-shirt. Anyway.
Listen to your eyeballs.
Listen to your eyeballs.
Listen, if the CIA hits you with enough acid, you're going to be listening through your eyeballs.
You're going to be
a few other things.
Hearing colors and seeing sounds. That's for fucking sure.